biological parents. And it just goes by so fast. The time goes by so fast. You know, it's like, oh my God, it's that time already, you know, to say, here they are. And so for this Mother's Day, I was able to provide him a picture of his birth mom. And I had to go to the attic and dig it out, and I have it stored away in, you know, a nice place in the attic. And so I was really happy to see him just so joyful about, wow, this is my mom, and I look like her, and this and that, you know. And so he's never, he hasn't met his parents, but Angelica has. So that's the difference. And so I feel so blessed because I did adopt, you know, an older child, like he was saying, you know, she was 8 years old. And so we'll go ahead and start with angels. And none of this, we haven't prepared for it at all, even though we're supposed to. But so I figured I would just kind of start off and kind of ask you questions and go from there. But I do want to say that I met Angelica when she was 6 years old. Okay. And I just think, I was looking around the room, I'm like, this is so cool that you're here, because Angelica basically started her, you know, intercessory prayer in your home, you know, and then of course Gretchen, you know, she's known our family, and Angelica, we actually went to Gretchen's house years ago about Angelica renting a room from them. This was years ago. And then John and Lisa, I thought about you guys and how you did the relative adoption, you know, with your niece. And my daughter is a relative adoption.
Oh,
yeah, exactly. I know a lot of people don't, and I haven't really shared it, you know, because it's kind of, you know, it's so long and complicated, you know. It is. So I just said, she's adopted, and that's it, you know, because it would take a long time to tell a story. And then you are prayer partners to your Sandoval family here. So even though there's a few of us here, I really feel that, at least for her first time, that she can feel comfortable sharing that with a few of us here. But what do you want to say?
Hi everybody, my name is Angelica. First and foremost, I want to put some people on the spot who have really, you know, inspired me these last couple of years and really been there for me and been rocks for me. Which of course is my brother Michael. My brother Joseph is not here, but you know, without them my life would be so empty. And my cousin Anthony, who's in the back, who's more like an older brother to me. And my cousin Arlene, I call him my cousin Dwayne, although he's married to my cousin Arlene. He's just my cousin. But they've been awesome people to me, and they've really been my brothers, been there for me, and dealt with me and put up with me and loved me, so I just want to put them on the spot. And also, first and foremost, or last, my mom Isabel, who God put her in my life and basically saved me from, she is and will always be my oasis in the desert. It's, like I said, it's long and complicated, but tonight will just be a synopsis, and that's it.
And that was the name, we actually did share her adoption story one time, oh gosh, it was like 2002, 2002, and that was what we named it, Oasis in the Desert, because she was in Imperial Valley. If anybody knows where Imperial Valley, it's out there and you have to go to the desert, you know, and basically she was in the desert and I was her oasis, so that was pretty cool. But basically my parents were divorced when I was 15 years old. And since then, my father had remarried and had a child named Ruby. And after that, I met her once or twice, and that was it. I lived over here in Port Hueneme, and my dad lived in the, Imperial. And so didn't see him too much, hardly ever, after I was, after my parents were divorced. And then the year that I got married, I was 23, and then I found out that my dad had recently remarried again. And a year later, Angelica was born. But being a newlywed myself, I wasn't, didn't really come see my dad very often, so it wasn't until one Sunday when I was sitting in San Antonio Apostolic Church, when the usher tapped me on the back and said that my brother Frank, and it's interesting that he called me today. I think he was sensing that I was going to talk about him. They said that he's been injured, he's probably not going to make it. And so my sisters and I rushed in the car, drove to Imperial Valley, and that's when I met Angelica. Do you remember that day? The hospital? Yes or no?
I will tell you the day I do remember, though. I do remember being little, and my mom and dad, Isabel and Michael, came over to visit me for my birthday. And I remember going to dinner with them in Imperial, and I just remember sitting there with my biological dad, Frank, and my, adoptive parents, Michael and Isabel, and myself. And I remember being little, and in that moment I felt so much peace, but at the